Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through sources, articles, research all the complex stuff, and pull out the key insights for you. It's your way to get properly informed, maybe find a few surprises, and hopefully stay engaged along the way. Today, we're diving into something pretty appealing, the dream of owning property somewhere amazing, maybe a beautiful villa in Thailand. We're focusing specifically on Phuket today. And just a quick note for anyone unfamiliar, it's pronounced Phuket. Yeah, Phuket, not Phuket. Good to get that right from the start. Now, that vision of your own place in Phuket, it's exciting, right? But it definitely comes with something crucial, something people often miss, proper due diligence. So this deep dive is all about understanding how you safeguard that dream investment, make sure it doesn't, turn into a nightmare. Our mission today, give you a clear path through what can seem like a really complex process. And our main source for this is a fantastic article from Ocean Worldwide. They're a luxury real estate agency, actually based right there in Phuket, been there since 2004. Their director, Sandra O'Neill, she's apparently helped literally thousands of families and investors over the years. So real hands-on experience, and they focus specifically on that high-end luxury residential market in Phuket and also Koh Samui. We're going to dig into their insights, pull out the absolute must-knows from their, well, decades of experience, really, to help you make a secure purchase there. Okay, so let's unpack this. Why is Phuket property due diligence not just like a good idea, but something you absolutely have to do? What can actually go wrong if you skip it?
Yeah, it's fascinating, isn't it? People get swept up in the beauty of the dream and sometimes forget that, it's still a major legal and financial transaction in a foreign country. The risks are real. So the core reasons. Well, first, and this is the big one, safeguarding against property fraud. It sounds dramatic, but yeah, you could encounter situations where the seller doesn't actually hold the legal title.
Mhm.
Or maybe they don't have the right to sell it. Due diligence is basically your shield. It confirms the seller's identity, their legal right to sell that specific property. Without it, you could lose everything. It's pretty chilling.
Wow, okay, so not just minor hiccups.
Not at all. Second, it's about preventing future legal headaches. Properties can carry hidden baggage. Think outstanding loans secured against the property, lien-ins, maybe unresolved land disputes with neighbors. If you don't uncover these before you buy, guess what? They become your problem. Suddenly you're facing legal battles, costs you never expected.
That dream turning into a nightmare scenario you mentioned.
Exactly. And third, it's really about ensuring you get what you signed up for. A worry-free ownership experience. You're buying it in Phuket to relax, right? To enjoy it. Proper due diligence covers all those legal bases, checks those boxes so you can actually relax. No nasty surprises popping up later.
That really puts it into perspective. It's not just paperwork, it's a peace of mind insurance almost. So, for you, the listener, thinking about buying, investing that time, and let's be honest, probably some money up front, why is that so crucial compared to just hoping for the best?
Well, it's fundamentally proactive. You spend a bit now to avoid potentially huge costs and, frankly, immense stress later. I mean, think about it. You find out months after moving in that there's a boundary dispute or a massive unpaid utility bill attached to the property title somehow. It happens. That upfront check is the difference between a manageable cost for security and a future expense that could be, well, crippling.
Okay, convinced. Due diligence is non-negotiable. So where do we even begin? The article mentions the foundation is ownership and title deeds. Sounds basic, but I guess it's more complex than it sounds.
Absolutely. The title deed isn't just a piece of paper. It's the piece of paper. It's the property's legal identity. So step one is meticulously investigating the property's ownership history, like digging into its past life. You need to trace it back through official records, land office records, primarily. Ensure it has a clean, legitimate history. No strange gaps, no questionable transfers that might, raise a red flag.
Like checking a car's logbook, but way more important.
Exactly. Second, you absolutely must confirm the legitimacy of the title deed itself. And this is where you really need a legal professional. They know exactly what to look for. They'll check the registration details on the back of the deed that list all the previous transactions, mortgages, leases, things like that. And here's a key thing about Thai law. Generally, if it's not registered on the back of that title deed at the land office, it's not legally binding.
Ah, okay.
And unfortunately, altered deeds, even outright fakes, they do exist. It's rare in the high-end market Ocean Worldwide deals with, perhaps, but the risk is there. So expert verification is just crucial.
And the article mentions something specific, a Shanote title. What's that about?
Right, the Shanote. Think of that as the gold standard. It's the strongest type of title deed in Thailand. It signifies full freehold ownership.
Hmm.
And importantly, it's backed by a precise government survey. using GPS points. So the boundaries are clearly marked and accurately recorded. It offers the highest level of security.
So that's the one you ideally want to see.
That's the ideal, yes. There are other types of land documents offering different levels of rights, maybe lesser rights or protections. Knowing exactly which type you're dealing with is critical. Your lawyer needs to explain the implications of, say, a Norse or Three-Gore versus a full Shinote. It dictates what you truly own and what you can do with it.
Okay, so Shinote is top tier. Good to know. You check the title, it seems clean. But you mentioned hidden problems. Things that aren't immediately obvious. What else could be lurking beneath the surface?
This is where the detective work really continues. First, detecting outstanding debts or liens. We touched on this, but it bears repeating. Properties can have mortgages secured against them or other financial charges. These are called encumbrances. Now, the land office check should reveal registered mortgages or leases that are longer than 3 years. They'll be noted on the back of the title deed.
Right.
But here's a subtlety. Leases that are shorter than 3 years might not be registered there. So someone could have a valid short-term lease you don't know about. That's a potential surprise.
Okay. Little trap there.
It can be. Then there's uncovering potential legal disputes. Is the property itself, or maybe the current owner, tied up in any legal battles? Could be a boundary issue with a neighbor, could be something bigger, civil cases, even criminal cases sometimes, a little less common. Your lawyer needs to check the court databases, and there's a real red flag to watch for. Sometimes, very rarely, a title deed might have a pink slip attached at the land
A
office.
pink slip, like getting fired.
Sort of, for the property's status. It means the property's registration is actually suspended, usually because there's an active court case involving it. It basically freezes the title. You absolutely cannot transact on a property with a pink slip until that court issue is resolved. It's a major blocker.
Wow. Definitely need to find that out up front.
Absolutely. And finally, just re-verifying that the seller truly has the right to sell. Seems obvious, right? But think about inherited properties or properties owned by companies with multiple directors or maybe complicated divorce situations.
Yeah, it could get messy.
It can. So you need to be sure the person signing the agreement is legally authorized and no one else, like an estranged sibling or a forgotten business partner, has a valid claim that could pop up later. Again, it involves digging into that ownership history and the seller's documentation.
Okay, so we've covered the legal checks, the documents, the hidden financial, and legal gremlins. Now, shifting gears, the actual physical property. You're there, maybe on a viewing. What should you be looking for beyond just, wow, nice view?
Yeah, the view is great, but it doesn't tell you about the plumbing. So this is the physical checkup. First, a really thorough visual assessment. Look beyond the fresh coat of paint. In a tropical place like Phuket, check for signs of water damage stains on ceilings or walls, mold, musty smells. How does the roof look? Any damaged tiles? Is there proper drainage around the building to handle those tropical
At
downpours?
this point, water management is key.
Crucial. Check the general condition, cracks in walls, state of the floors, windows, doors. Does it feel well maintained, or are there signs of neglect? Especially in luxury properties, the standard should be high.
Right. What about the systems, the stuff that makes it work?
Exactly. Test everything, turn on all the taps, check the water pressure, flush all the toilets, flick every light switch, test power outlets. Air conditioning is usually essential in Phuket. Turn it on everywhere, let it run, see how it performs, check the Wi-Fi signal.
Don't forget the Wi-Fi.
Never forget the Wi-Fi. And if there are shared facilities, a communal pool, a gym, inspect them too. Look for cracks around the pool, check the equipment in the gym. Poorly maintained common areas can mean high future service charges or special levies.
Makes sense. And what about getting professionals involved for this part?
Highly recommended, especially for things the average person might miss. Engaging a professional property inspector is a really worthwhile investment. They have the expertise to spot potential structural problems, hidden plumbing issues, electrical faults, maybe termite damage, things that aren't obvious. They'll give you a detailed report. It might cost a bit up front, yes, but finding a major structural flaw before you buy could save you, well, potentially hundreds of thousands of dollars later on. It gives you huge leverage for negotiation too, or a solid reason to walk away.
That seems like money well spent for peace of mind. Okay, so you've done the legal checks, the physical checks, everything looks good. Now comes the purchase agreement. This isn't just signing on the dotted line, is it? It's the rule book for the whole deal.
Absolutely. The purchase agreement, or sale and purchase agreement, SPA, is the legal blueprint. It locks everything down. Getting this right is critical. First, you need to understand all the key terms and conditions. Obvious things like the exact purchase price, yes, but also the payment schedule. When is the deposit due? When are subsequent payments due? When is the final payment? And what about contingencies? Are there clauses saying the deal depends on you getting financing or on a satisfactory building inspection report like we just discussed?
Right, the what ifs.
Exactly. And what's actually included in the sale? Is that furniture staying? What about appliances, light fixtures? It needs to be spelled out clearly to avoid disputes later.
And the deposit. How does that usually work?
Typically, you'll pay a deposit to secure the property, often around 10%. The agreement must state precisely how and when this is paid. And crucially, what happens to that deposit if the deal falls through? Under what specific circumstances do you get it back? And under which circumstances does the seller keep it? This needs to be absolutely unambiguous.
Okay. And navigating all this legal language, you mentioned needing a lawyer earlier. How important is that for the agreement itself?
Oh, indispensable. I mean, trying to understand a Thai property contract on your own, unless you're fluent in Thai and Thai property law,
Yeah.
is just incredibly risky. You need a qualified lawyer who specializes in Thai real estate, someone like the expert Sandra O'Neill and her team at Ocean Worldwide would recommend. They live and breathe this stuff. They will review that agreement line by line. They'll explain the complex clauses in plain English. They'll spot potential problems or unfair terms. They act as your advocate, protecting your interests.
Makes sense.
And the article even gives an example, like understanding contracts for developments by big players like Fraser's Property, Thailand, or FPT. These can be complex. A good lawyer knows what to look for, knows the potential pitfalls in developer contracts, ensures you're not signing away rights without realizing it. Their input is vital before you commit.
So legal help is key for the contract. But even after that's signed, the due diligence isn't quite over, is it? There's more checking on documents and the seller.
That's right. It's about final verification, dotting the I's and crossing the T's. So first, another look, perhaps a deeper one, at the property title deed and any associated plans like floor plans. You, or preferably your lawyer, should see the original title deed. Check the name against the seller's ID again. Go back to the land office records one more time, maybe trace its issuance history, ensure no last-minute liens or issues have popped up. Verifying the land boundaries against official maps, maybe even with a surveyor present, is also wise. Avoids any doubt about exactly what you're buying.
Okay, double-checking the core document. What else?
Construction permits. You need to ensure all buildings on the property, the main house, any guest houses, garages, even significant retaining walls have the correct permits and approvals from the local authorities. If something was built without permission, you as the new owner could face fines, be forced to modify it, or even, in extreme cases, demolish it.
Ouch. Right, and checking the seller themselves.
Yes, examining the owner or developer documentation thoroughly. If it's a developer, you want to see their company registration, project licenses, maybe look into their track record on previous projects. If it's a private individual, you need their official ID, proof of ownership, maybe proof of marital status, as that can affect selling rights. If the property is owned by a company, you need to check that company's legal status, make sure it's active, and confirm who is legally authorized to sign the sale documents on its behalf.
And then there's the seller's background check you mentioned earlier. Going a bit deeper.
Exactly. Investigating the seller's background and status. Verifying their identity is step one, usually simple ID checks. But also doing a bit of a reputation check, online searches, local inquiries if possible can sometimes uncover red flags. Then, the check for civil and criminal records. Your lawyer can search court records for any ongoing lawsuits involving the seller or convictions that might impact their ability or trustworthiness to complete the sale.
Yeah.
It's not about being nosy. It's about risk assessment.
Understood.
And the big one we touched on, assessing the seller's bankruptcy status. This is critical. If a seller is declared bankrupt in Thailand, their assets are typically managed by an official receiver. They generally can't sell property without court permission. If you buy from someone who is bankrupt without the proper approvals, the transaction could potentially be unwound later. So confirming they are not bankrupt or have the necessary permissions if they are, is absolutely vital before any money changes hands.
That's a huge potential pitfall. Okay, so we've covered the property itself, the seller. What about the bigger picture? The land itself and how it fits into the local area, land use and zoning.
Precisely. It's not just about your plot of land in isolation. It's about what you're allowed to do with it according to local regulations. So first, checking restrictions on land use. Phuket, like most places, has zoning laws. Some areas are zoned purely residential, others commercial, maybe mixed use or agricultural. There might also be specific building regulations within those zones, like height restrictions, how much of the land area you can build on, setbacks from boundaries. You need to ensure your plans for the property, whether it's just living there or maybe renting it out, comply with these rules.
So you don't accidentally buy a residential villa planning to run a business from it if that's not allowed.
Exactly. And ensuring compliance with existing zoning laws is key. These laws manage development, protect environmentally sensitive areas like coastal zones, where building might be restricted close to the beach. Your lawyer needs to verify the property's zoning and check that all existing structures comply. It's also smart, as the article points out, to check for proposed zoning changes, what might be planned for the area in the future.
Ah, like that Hotel and Overnight Accommodation Act mentioned in the source.
Yes, that's a perfect example. Proposed changes like that could impact how you can use your property, especially regarding short-term rentals in condos or housing estates. Being aware of upcoming changes is part of forward-looking due diligence.
Good point. What about just getting to the property? Access.
Crucial, and sometimes overlooked. Verifying property location and access. You need to ensure there's clear, legal, and practical access to the property. Usually this is via a public road, but sometimes access might be via a private road crossing someone else's land. If so, is there a registered easement, a legal right-of-way recorded on the title deeds? Without that, your access could potentially be blocked one day.
Another potential nightmare.
It can be. And verifying the boundaries again, perhaps with a surveyor, confirms you know exactly where your land starts and ends, preventing future disputes with neighbors. You don't want to buy your dream villa and find out the driveway is actually on next door's land.
Definitely not. Okay, we've covered a massive amount of ground, from the first checks right through to zoning. Let's talk about the finish line, finalizing the actual property transfer, and maybe circle back one last time on why those legal experts are so vital.
Right, the final stages. This raises the question, how do you make sure it all concludes safely? First, there are final land office verification procedures. It's like one last health check before the final commitment, ensuring nothing adverse has been registered against the title at the 11th hour.
Okay, a final check.
Then comes the actual completion of the title deed transfer. This happens physically at the local land office. You and the seller, or your authorized legal representatives, need to be present. Officials will update the original title deed with your name as the new owner. That's the moment it legally becomes yours.
The big moment.
It is. And alongside that, settling the property transfer taxes and fees. There's a transfer fee, usually split between buyer and seller, stamp duty, and potentially specific business tax or withholding tax, depending on how long the seller owned it and how it was used. Your lawyer is crucial here to ensure the correct amounts are calculated and paid. Getting taxes wrong can lead to problems later.
And that brings us back to the lawyers. You've mentioned them throughout. Let's just hammer home their role one last time.
Yeah, it really can't be stressed enough. The role of legal experts specializing in Thai real estate is indispensable throughout this entire process, not just at the contract stage. They're your investigators, your advisors, your protectors. They conduct that detailed due diligence we've been talking about, checking titles, searching for liens, verifying permits, investigating the seller, understanding zoning. They compile everything into a comprehensive due diligence report. This report is your evidence, your assurance. It clearly outlines their findings, highlights any risks, and gives you a solid basis for your decision.
So it's not just about the final transfer, it's the whole journey.
Exactly. They ensure the purchase agreement protects you. They guide you through the complexities of Thai law. They manage the final transfer process at the land office, ensuring everything is done correctly and legally. Trying to navigate this complex process, especially as a foreigner, without expert legal guidance, well, it's taking a huge gamble. The relatively small cost of good legal advice provides immense value and peace of mind. It ensures your slice of paradise is secure.
So wrapping this all up, what's the main takeaway for you, the listener? Buying property in Phuket, it's obviously a big, exciting step. But we've clearly seen that thorough, professional due diligence isn't just optional, it's fundamental.
Absolutely. Rushing in, skipping steps, trying to save a bit by not getting proper legal help. It really is just asking for trouble down the line. As Sandra O'Neill and Ocean Worldwide's experience shows, doing it right takes time and expertise. But that upfront investment in due diligence is what ensures your dream property stays a dream, rather than becoming a very expensive, stressful lesson. It's what allows you to truly relax and enjoy that incredible investment you've made.
So here's a final thought to leave you with. What does owning that slice of paradise securely really mean to you? And thinking about everything we've discussed, what due diligence steps, maybe even beyond the obvious ones, are you willing to take to truly protect that dream?